Welcome to Write Now Workshop Podcast, where you can write a book and change the world. I'm your host, Kitty Bucholtz, and this is episode 130, The Direction You Face Matters, an encouraging words episode coming to you on Sunday, March 3rd, 2019. You know, these encouraging words episodes, sometimes I think I need to do them far more often because they encourage me as much as I hope that they're encouraging you. And I'm often looking for what can I talk about in the encouraging words episode, which, as a matter of fact, will help you to find more things to be encouraged about in life. So maybe you can pretend that you have to share some encouraging words with someone so that you can start looking around and seeing, okay, what's been encouraging me this week? For me, we had a guest pastor at our church last Sunday, and his name is Pastor Steve Warren, and he preaches at, or is the pastor at, I guess both, C3 Church, Amsterdam. So he came over to Malmo, Sweden, and he was talking about vision and having, vision for your life, for the year, for the next stage, that sort of thing. But one of the things that really struck me is that he was saying, and this totally makes sense, it's just that it really struck me last week, the direction you face matters, and the direction of your life matters. Now, obviously, the second one we can all easily agree with. The direction of your life matters. Of course it does. You don't want to become a serial killer. You don't want to be somebody who, sits on a log for the rest of their lives and does nothing and just melts away without having anything important or interesting or helpful done in the world ever. Most people, I would say, probably don't want to do that. Certainly not people who are listening to podcasts, right? So we know that our life matters. We know that the direction our life is taking matters. But I think it's very interesting to think about the idea that the direction you face matters. Now, obviously, in your physical life, the direction you face, but also the direction that your thoughts are facing. Now, as I've been talking about burnout for almost a year now, one of the things that is still a big struggle to me is if something starts to bother me, it is really, really hard to get me to stop facing that direction, stop continuing to look at the thing that's making me frustrated or angry or depressed or whatever. It really takes effort to move away from the space of something negative and trying to find some space where I'm looking in a direction that's positive inside my own mind. So this has been on my mind without me having words for it. And so that's probably part of the reason why it hit me so much last week. So the direction that you face matters. Now, think about this. It's not easy to go in a direction you're not facing. It's not easy to walk backwards. And even if you do walk backwards, there's a point at which you're going to have to occasionally be turning around to make sure you're still on the right path. My husband can run backwards while I am running forwards because, he used to be, at one point we were at a place where I was so slow and he was so much faster that he could literally run backwards next to me. But he would still have to turn around and look sometimes and make sure that he wasn't going to trip over something or, just go off the path, run into somebody else who's going the proper direction or anything like that. Another thing that I find really interesting is that when I was learning to horseback ride, my sister, who was my instructor, she was always telling me to face and look the direction that I want the horse to go. Because when I turn my head, it tends to turn, my neck, my shoulders, now my body a little bit. And that changes how the horse is feeling my legs on his sides, which is one of the ways that you guide a horse. So as I turn my head, my whole body is turning a little bit, unless, you are being careful to only turn your head on your neck. And so it makes the horse think that I want to go the direction that I'm beginning to look. Interestingly, when I was taking a motorcycle class so that I could get my motorcycle license, the instructor there was saying you need to look in the direction that you want to go, particularly when you're going around a curve. You want to look in the direction that you want to go, not in the direction that you may actually be facing. That's actually slightly different from this interesting idea that I had, and yet it's still pretty much the same concept. Wherever it is that you want to be going, you need to be looking that direction. Now, if you're going to face Medusa, if you're going to have to fight Medusa, of course, you do not want your eyes to be open if you are facing her. You can fight her if you can, fight her behind your back by looking into a mirror. You don't want to face Medusa, not with your eyes open. But that's the only thing I could think of that you wouldn't want to do with your eyes open, not wanting to face the direction that you're going. It seems like everything else in life, the direction that you're looking tends to be the direction that you're going, which is why if you're thinking negative, sad, depressed thoughts, that's the direction that your thoughts will continue to go, and that your body will eventually start going in that direction. If you are trying to be in a positive mindset and think about and focus on more positive thoughts, your mind and then eventually your body will also start becoming more in this positive. You get more energy as opposed to less energy, things like that. So I just thought that if I brought this to your attention again, it's not anything that you don't know, but it may be something you haven't thought about for a long time. Maybe it would also help you to be encouraged this week. Where is your actual most important to you interior life going? What direction are you facing? And where is your writing life going? What direction is your writing life facing? If you are thinking this is never going to work, I don't know why I try, and you are facing inside your mind a place where you're like, I don't even know why I do this. Well, when you query agents, you probably will have lost some of that spark of excitement that might be just the little tweaks in wording that would have gotten them at least a little bit more interested in you. Who knows? It could happen. Being just blah, 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 blah. I mean, nobody wants to really talk too much to a person who's like, whatever, I don't care. There's so many things in our lives that when we look at it, we're like, oh yeah, okay. So the direction that my thoughts are taking, it does matter. The direction that I'm physically going, it does matter. Which is why we learn to do things so that we can physically go in the right direction. Like maybe you don't know a lot about publishing. That might be why you're listening to podcasts about it. Or you just want to know more things so that you can adjust your trajectory and your direction a little bit better so that you can be a little bit closer to facing the right direction. Does this make sense? I hope so. It was really impactful for me to be thinking about it in every area of my life, my emotional life, my spiritual life, my writing life, and just my altogether, my whole life in general. The other thing that Pastor Steve Warren said was life comes out of you and onto or into others. I actually couldn't read my own notes to see whether or not he said onto or into. And then I was like, well, it probably is, the answer is probably yes. Whatever you are in the moment, other people are going to see it, feel it, experience it. So either you're smiling at someone, or my husband and I were smiling and waving and making a baby in front of us on the bus laugh today. And every time he laughed, it made us laugh more, which made him laugh more. So it was very fun. You know, so you can see how life is flowing out of one person into and onto another person, just in smiles, but also in words and in actions. So what are the things that we're doing that are influencing in any way other people for good, bad, neutral? It's kind of, now it's become like this big thought, right? Like everything in my life matters. And the thing is that is true. Sure, there are lots of things that don't matter, like whether or not you decide to sit on this bench for another 5 minutes and enjoy the sunshine. On the one hand, that would be great because sunshine, yay. On the other hand, you know, maybe you might miss a bus if you sit there for 5 minutes instead of 3. I don't know. But in general, I think that it's important for us to remember that where we're facing does matter because that's probably going to be the direction that we're taking steps in. So I know that I'm going to be trying a lot harder in the next few weeks to be thinking about what direction am I facing, having to do with writing, career, you know, interior health, my thoughts, how I'm treating people, relationships. And do I want to make any changes so that I'm facing a better direction? I hope these are encouraging thoughts for you. I hope that they are giving you a little bit of food for thought in an interesting way on a Sunday afternoon or whenever you're listening to this. And I hope you have a fabulous week. If you have time and space inside your mind and your body and it's not going to stress you out, let's work on getting a little bit of writing done. If you need a little bit of a break, if you are feeling overstressed and overwhelmed with life, then it's probably not going to kill you to take a few days to just relax, get some peace back, get some kind of grounding back in your life, and then come back to it. These are the things that I am telling myself for sure. And so just in case they might be helpful for you, I thought I would share. Have a fabulous week, and we will talk to you more soon.